The mistake that most parents make is assuming improvements will happen instantly and abandoning the diet if changes aren't happening within a few days. My son started talking at the age of 9, and that was after doing all little things here and there. I always say, when a parent comes to me and says to me, my child is still stimming, my child is still doing this, I am not seeing any improvement. And normally when a parent says they're not seeing any improvement, it's not necessarily that there's zero improvement. It's because they don't see that improvement, that one that they want. That's what they are not saying. They so desire to hear their baby talk. They so desire for their child to look neurotypical. So when they say that they don't see any improvements, it doesn't necessarily then mean that the child is not aware. Awareness is one thing that comes pretty quickly for the majority of kids. They become aware. They get out of the brain fog that they're in. And it doesn't mean that. It doesn't mean that the child doesn't have eye contact. Or if you say to her, how is the eye contact? Oh, his eye contact is beautiful. But there is that one that they want. Let me come back to this beautiful mommy that said to me, she's not seeing any gains. So I said to her, let's open up the labs. So we opened up three of her beautiful son's labs. And every single one of the markers looked like this. I want to show you this. We pulled out the labs for the child and we went through them together. What I was trying to make her aware of was the fact that when you're looking at your child, you're looking at a human being that is very complex with a lot of systems. And with the babies that I look after, they're very complex kid. And I've just pulled one lab. This kid has, we've done quite a lot of labs for this kid, and he has a lot of mold. He has a lot of heavy metals, and this is his organic acid test. But I pulled out the organic acid test so that I can show you the systems, the way it works. And then you have an understanding that, hey, the gluten-free, casein-free diet, it is the first step in the direction. Like I said, a 1-mile journey starts with a step, and you do not want to give it up because your child is not talking, because your child is not having a dialogue with you. You do not want to give up. The key element is, remember your pinned post, your initial pinned post, your HS score. You want to see movement on your HS score. That's the most important thing as far as I'm concerned. You want to see movement of your point on the HS score. In this case, with this beautiful mom, she says to me, Natsa, I don't see any benefits. I cannot see anything. She had lost almost 23 points on ATEC within 3 months, but she wanted the baby to speak. She wants the baby to go to mainstream. So when I have a parent coming to me and says, it's not working, I don't see any benefits, I take my time to explain what I'm about to explain to you. Our babies are complex, especially if they've got level 3, level 2 autism. They are going to have a lot of other metabolic nutritional issues that we need to address. And it's not going to be resolved by just removing gluten. They're not all going to be resolved by removing casein. Yes, casein and gluten, they are usually part of the drivers that drive some of the symptoms. And in most cases, especially for young kids, once we start the momentum of healing, the kids go on and do well. But if the child is older or the child has a lot of metabolic issues, then we must allow for time. Don't give up because your baby is not gaining that very thing that you want, that thing that you want. Don't give up. So this is the results for this beautiful kid. Started on a gluten-free diet. His diet was a lot stricter. In this case, we need to address the yeast. We also need to address the bacteria. And when you have yeast and bacteria like that, it's very likely that you're also dealing with parasites, and it's also very likely that you're looking at biofilm, and we must address that. And guess what? That's time, that's resources, and that's a lot of patience and discipline. It doesn't necessarily mean that the gluten-free and casein-free diet is not working. It just means that we also need to address yeast and we also need to address bacteria, and we need to address the biofilm. It doesn't mean that the gluten-free and casein-free diet is not working. And in the case of this child, he also had oxalates. So his diet needed to address the yeast, which means that we had to remove the majority of the grains, and we also needed to put him on a low oxalate diet. And if you go down here, you see carnitinic and quinolinic acid very high. So he needed a lot of antioxidants for us to be able to tone down that inflammation. So it's not just going to be gluten-free and casein-free, but it is the starting point. This is why I am doing this, because I would love clients to come to me and they have done the gluten-free and the casein-free diet already, and then we can start moving with other things that we need to address that I know 100%. You need my expertise, you need my intelligence, you need my experience. But you can do the gluten-free and casein-free diet. And I also believe that if we get the gluten-free and the casein-free diet right, it also means that we are going to have, if we get the gluten-free and casein-free right, we're going to get the momentum going. For some children, the gluten-free and the casein-free diet is the miracle that they need, okay? For some children, we need to deal with the yeast. We need to deal with the oxalates. We need to deal with carnitinic and quinolinic acid, okay? And if you look at this kid, you see environmental toxic. He's got a lot of toxic issues there, high toxic burden, methylation issue. If you look at this kid again, he also needs to be on a low salicylate diet. So this is not just going to be, oh, I put my child on a gluten-free diet, let him talk, and then you give up. That's not that's not what it is. Okay. Like I said, a 1 million mile journey starts with one step. And so don't give up on it. Okay. Don't give up on it. Don't give up on it. There are things that we have to do because we know we have to do that. When you put your child on a gluten-free diet and a casein-free diet and they respond very well, you want to remember that your child is a responder. You want to know that your child is a responder and you want to maintain that and then start working on other things that you need to work on. So let me know in the comments what is one of the symptoms that your child, what is one of the symptoms that bothers you about your child? What do you worry most? What is that symptom that keeps you up at night? I would want to address that in the next live that we're going to be having. Let me know in the comments, wherever you are, wherever you're watching this from, what is that symptom that is keeping you up at night and worried about? Okay, I know for most parents it's speech. Okay, but speech comes with us putting in these things like the forebrain that I'm wearing up, speech and language, etc. But when the child has got neuroinflammation, when the child has got neuroinflammation, like in this case, then we know we need to deal with that. In most cases, neuroinflammation can be driven by the food sensitivity and intolerance to wheat, casein.